Thank you, John. A very, very good evening to all of you. I would like to, as the first Vice Chair of ICC, like to welcome all of you here today. I stand in here for Terry, who could not make it from the US. And just before I came up to this restaurant, both John and I spoke to him at length. And he sends his greetings and regards and has asked me to perform his duty tonight. I am the first Vice Chair of ICC. My name is Sunil Mittal. I come from India. And my principal engagement in the business world is in the area of telecommunications and other things that are digital. In some sense, I belong to the fourth revolution, which is fast overtaking the world. And maybe in my opening remarks of welcome, I'll touch upon a little bit about that as well. But first of all, let me welcome all of you who have taken time to be with us here today and for tomorrow. Many of you have traveled long distances. I have come all the way from India, as pretty far from here. And I must say that I'm blown. I've heard great things about this place, but for the last 2 years, we've been generally hearing about downturn, economy not doing well. GDP was down 3.5% last year, likely to be negative 4% this year. But when I look around here, I just don't reconcile with the fact that this country is not doing well. This place is buzzing. I come from a big country, a country with lots of people. My own city is about 22, 23 million people, New Delhi. But I can tell you, coming yesterday, thanks to my dear friend Daniel, I flew on the chopper from airport to come to the hotel. I haven't seen a city like this before. It was breathtaking. Buildings and buildings and thousands of buildings. And almost every third or fourth building had a helipad. This is unprecedented. New York comes nowhere close. So why is this place not doing well? In fact, this will be one of the discussions probably we'll have at the executive board tomorrow, because in the end, as John always reminds me, trade matters, because that is what's going to change and continue to change the world, provide more jobs, provide the momentum that all of us so desperately need. Let me also take this opportunity to thank our hosts, ICC Brazil, Daniel Pfeffer, Julian. All of them have been doing an extraordinary job in supporting ICC activities. They are very active on the board. Daniel has been very active, and I personally believe the activities that are coming from Brazil in support of ICC are truly to be recognized. This evening, Alexis told me that we are also now starting our process of having the court office here. That process has started. Brazil is a very important place for arbitration, and that will become one other area of our work of ICC here in Brazil as well. Let me in closing say that generally last 2 or 3 years has been tough for the world. Not many markets are growing. The developed world has not seen such a slowdown in long years. Other than some bright spots like India, which is still growing, everything else is kind of slowing down. China is now down sub 5%, which otherwise may be a very large percentage of growth in today's time. But China is not used to that kind of growth and is facing its own challenges. Amongst the other BRICS countries, Brazil, as I mentioned to you, has been struggling economically. Russia has had its huge problems with sanctions and, of course, the meltdown in the oil price. Ruble is at 64, 65 now. And South Africa has also had a negative growth, with the rand now touching an all-time high of 16. So generally, all the countries which were driving a lot of consumption for the developed world as well have been facing difficulties. Europe will grow barely at 0.8%. US is about 1.5%, 2%. So overall, the globe has slowed down. And we need to find new ways and means to give momentum to the trade. And for that, your ICC, our ICC is working very hard with various stakeholders, be that WTO, where John and I were there about 2 weeks back, doing our first engagement ever with WTO in their headquarters. Our engagement with B20, G20, our engagement with the SDGs through the AGs of UN are all very important initiatives that we are taking to ensure that we can kickstart the world economy. Of course, we also need to be conscious about the fourth revolution, which on one level is providing tremendous amount of excitement in the world, whether it's moving towards the driverless car, whether it's moving towards artificial intelligence, robotics, cloud computing. All this is creating wonderful opportunities, but equally, I would say, it's also creating stress in the society. Most of the growth that is coming through these digital interventions are jobless growth. And that is something we all need to be careful about as we move forward. Because I personally believe, and especially coming from a country like India, unless you have growth which is inclusive, which takes into its whole process everybody, the outcome of such a growth will not be very satisfying for the stakeholders, be that politicians or the business community. We really need to start rewiring our minds. How can we ensure that our growth is inclusive? We cannot have a society where large sections of the society are not even on the margins of economic well-being. We can't have few very, very rich associations, companies, individuals at the cost of millions and millions of people who will be disenfranchised and not be a part of the economic well-being that is required. So I can promise you, as I will with your support take over the mantle at ICC for the next 2 years, I will try to raise this question every time we meet. I'll try to talk about this to stakeholders. We will try to offer ICC as a body which can really truly create business which is for the good of the society and not just for a few individuals. I personally believe our founding fathers in ICC created a wonderful start to the world economy. Having the instruments like FOB, Certificate of Origin, CIF, letters of credit, all these are the contributions of ICC. In today's world, when we move into the new digital world, those things are being left behind. We have to start writing new chapters. We have to start writing the new language that is required for modern day trade. And I think in John Danilovich and his entire management team, we have the people, we have the expertise, we have the passion to take this forward. So friends, ladies and gentlemen, let me once again welcome you to Sao Paulo. Thank you.